Toy Story and number. You can tell Doug light and shadow really good. Hi, welcome to my office. My name is Christian Roman and I'm a story artist, and this is another episode of Draw with Pixar. I really love working at Pixar because everybody there is really passionate about telling great stories, and I love to draw. I've worked on Toy Story 3 and 4, most of the Toy Story shorts and specials, Cars 3, Onward, Luca, and I just recently finished working on the new Doug Days shorts that are on Disney+. So because of that, today we're going to draw, you and I are going to draw Doug.
Oh, thank you. What are you doing? Is that for me? Are you making something?
Alright everybody, it's time to draw with Pixar. We've got our paper, we've got our pencil. Let's draw Doug. I firmly believe that if you can write your name, you can draw, because all the elements of drawing are also in letters and numbers. So all you have to do is just think about expanding that into a wider language of drawing shapes on a piece of paper. So I think you can do this. When I start drawing, I don't think about just the small parts first, like the nose or a paw or something. I think of the whole shape. And I think about the silhouette of it. I think this is about what I'm going to do for Doug. And he's got a big nose in his silhouette. The silhouette is, if I shaded this all in as a solid, you would be able to tell who it was. For example, if I do this, you can tell that's Mickey Mouse from his silhouette. The same thing holds true for every kind of drawing. We really think about this in animation and storyboarding. So his silhouette is really important. He's going to have a big tail, so this is going to be Doug. Now that I'm going to get into the details a little bit more, think about his head. Now this is rough. You can keep your drawing rough. In fact, it adds a lot more energy to it than if you really made really solid lines at first. So don't be afraid to be rough and kind of sketch around and explore things. So I think Doug's head is kind of like a gumdrop with a duck bill, a fat duck bill that comes out.
You are like a father to me. I will call you Papa.
Oh boy. That's the way I kind of like think about him. He's got two small eyes, right kind of close together. I'm going to give him a little bit of a tilt, because he's got his head tilted a little bit. And then he's got a nose. Now, one of the most obvious things about Doug is his really big nose, and it's a really long oblong. But that's just not enough. One of the great things about drawing is that you can fool people's eye. You make them think that something has more volume on a flat piece of paper, and the way you do that is with light and shadow. Now I'm going to just erase this line a little bit here to show you that if I make a smaller circle at the top and leave that light and use the side of my pencil and shade that in, it gives dimension to that nose and makes it really rounded and have volume, so you really kind of see that it's this round shape. I'm going to do the same thing with Doug's eyes. I'm going to give him some pupils, and I'm going to have a light part there and a dark part under here. And it's really going to make the eyes look alive and have a little light to them and roundness, and really make Doug come to life. He also has very earnest eyebrows, and so it's almost like an M above his eyes. He's always very excited and happy to see you. He's just met you and he loves you. And he has ears that also kind of stick up. They pop up and then they hang down on either side of his head. Now let's look more at his mouth, because he's happy. The other thing about Doug that's really easy to draw is that he's hairy, so you can keep a kind of like a rough line around here and it really reads like he's a dog. I'm going to curl this up and then I'm going to do like a little hash mark there to give him a smile. I'm going to open his mouth and he's got a tongue that's almost as big as his nose.
Flower. I smelled a flower.
Gonna have it a little middle line to give it some dimension. He does have teeth, you can kind of see, and I'm gonna darken in there, darken in here. He's got mouth there, and he's got a collar. Now his collar's a little tight, so I like to make the collar there and then have it stick out around the hair. And then now let's talk about the rest of his body. I want him to have like this sweeping shape here. And then he's got two front paws. The way I draw the paws is flat on the bottom, a little bit of a curve here, and 3 lines to show that he's got toes. Maybe the other paw is really close. And just like the nose, I'm going to shade down here to make it look like his chest is puffed out just a little bit.
Oh boy, it is a small mailman.
Hey Doug, how you doing, boy?
That. And then he's got a back big haunch. And his foot comes out here and there's 3 lines there. I'm going to shade underneath there too, just to give him a little bit of a rounded shape. And last I'm going to work on his tail. He's got a hairy tail, so I can go like that to give him a tail. Maybe the last thing is I'm going to shade down here to make it look like he's standing on something. And that's Doug. Don't forget though, you also want to sign your art. I'm going to write my name down here. And maybe if I post it online, I'll add the hashtag draw with Pixar. And that's Doug.
You're a good boy, Doug.
Thanks for drawing with me on this episode of Draw with Pixar. I love drawing Doug, and I hope you did too. So if you really liked drawing it, you should... Squirrel! If you liked drawing him, why don't you post him on social media with the hashtag Draw with Pixar? I'll look for it.